How many organizations are represented today, and I want to give the mic over to the Sierra Club. We're part of Florida Waters Coalition. We've been working together for many years fighting slime in the state of Florida. I'm going to welcome Frank Jackalone to the mic. He's the Florida Staff Director with the Sierra Club. Please give Frank a big hand and welcome. Frank?
Thank you, everybody. What a great turnout. And you all came despite the rain. But the rain is a good thing, as we all know. It's a very good thing. And because it helps to renourish our farms and our forests and our yards, even though they've got all those lawns. They're a good thing, but there's a bad lining to it as well. And that is that as it rains today, that rain is taking little particles of nitrogen and phosphorus on our fields and on our yards, and it's running off onto our roads, into our sewers, into our streams, our springs, our rivers, our lakes, into the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean, and causing green algae and harmful red tides. It's devastating the state of Florida. It is devastating our ability to enjoy the Sunshine State, and is devastating our fisheries and our wildlife as well. We are here today to say that EPA needs to stick to its word. EPA came to agreement with many of the groups here today in litigation that it would enforce the Clean Water Act in the state of Florida. It would make sure that we clean up that nutrient runoff, and that we would stop it at its source. And that's really what we have to do. The question is, who is going to pay for the cleanup? Is it going to be the taxpayers? Is it going to be the homeowners who live on those beautiful water bodies and have had the values of their home plummet?
No way!
Is it going to be the wildlife that dies because of that runoff and that green slime and those harmful algae blooms? Who is going to pay the cost? The cost has got to be paid by the polluters. Polluters must pay. And that is our message today. But, okay. Now, just lost my screen. But let me just say that EPA is talking about abrogating its agreement with us. They are putting together some pretty strong proposed rules, but in the same breath, they're saying, you know, we're talking to the state of Florida, and if they come up with their own rules, different rules, we are willing to hand it right back over to them. Not only the rule making, but also the enforcement. And we know that Governor Rick Scott and DEP Secretary Herschel Vineyard are not ready. They're not willing. They're not able to enforce the Clean Water Act.
And never will be.
They're not going to do it. Right now, they are working with polluters to give them almost anything they want in this state when it comes to environmental protection. We're not going to stand for that. We know that Rick Scott and Herschel Vineyard and Florida DEP will not control and will not regulate the flow of manure, sewage, fertilizers into Florida's water bodies. That is a hopeless wish, and that EPA shouldn't pass it back over to them. And that's why we are saying today, EPA yes, DEP no. And I would like you to repeat that with me one more time. EPA yes, DEP no. Together, we're going to hold EPA's feet to the fire, and we're going to make sure that they do the right thing. Thank you.
You know what Vineyard says DEP stands for? Department of Economic Protection.
Thank you, Frank.